Good afternoon, students. Welcome you all in our civics class. So here we are discussing class 10 civics chapter 1 power sharing. Now here in this chapter we have already covered the topics like what is power sharing, the definition we have gone through. Next, the story part of Belgium and Sri Lanka, where we have discussed the ethnic composition of Belgium and Sri Lanka, right? Here we have discussed in Belgium, in the whole country, okay, who were in majority the Dutch speaking people, okay, whereas the French speaking people were in minority, whereas there were only 1% Germans. And just opposite means in the capital city Brussels, okay, who were in majority the French speaking people, whereas the Dutch speakers were in minority. That is, the condition or the case is totally reverse, okay, over here. Next, we have also discussed about Sri Lanka. Here we have seen the Sinhala speakers were in majority, okay, whereas Tamil speakers were in minority, okay. And there were two subgroups of Tamils, Indian Tamils and Sri Lankan Tamils, okay. Next, we have discussed about majoritarianism in Sri Lanka, okay. What does majoritarianism means? It means that it is a belief, it is a belief that majority community should be able to rule a country in whichever way it wants by disregarding or by ignoring the wishes and needs of the minority community, okay. And following the steps, the Sri Lankan government, okay, it adopted a series of majoritarian measures to establish Sinhala supremacy. Okay, here we will see that Sri Lankan government, it preferred the Sinhalas and it totally, ignored the wishes and needs of the minority community, that is the Tamils. Okay. So it took several steps to establish Sinhala supremacy, means to make Sinhalas more powerful. It took several steps, majoritarian measures, okay. You can write in point wise, okay. That is here. In 1956, Act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language by disregarding Tamils. And next, the government, Sri Lankan government, it followed preferential policies. It favored Sinhala applicants for job and university positions, whereas it also declared that states shall protect and foster Buddhism. Okay, so it totally, preferred Sinhalas. Next, and these steps, actually, the steps totally alienated the Tamils, okay, and the Tamils, it created, a type of tension among the Tamils and the Sinhalas, because the Tamils, they felt that their language, their culture was totally ignored, okay, and nobody was giving, importance or preference to their culture, their language, their religion, and that is the reason why what happened, a type of tension, it arose among them, and as a result, the relation became totally strained over time. At last, means finally, a civil war took place in Sri Lanka. Why? What was the reason? Because here Sri Lankan government totally, favored, or we can say it has given more preference to Sinhalas. So here power was not shared equally among the social or ethnic groups. Okay. Next topic we have discussed about accommodation in Belgium. Here what happens? Belgian leaders, okay, took a very smart decision to accommodate all the ethnic groups together. Okay, so it took several steps so that all the communities should accommodate, should live together in the same country, okay, without any conflict and any war. Okay, so Belgian constitution was amended how many times, children? 4 times. Okay, 4 times it was amended. And here first step which was taken by Belgian government, that the constitution, Belgian constitution, prescribes that the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. Okay, this was the first step. Next you will see many powers of central government has been given to the state government. Okay, so here state government should not be under the domination of central government. Next, Brussels, which was the capital city of Belgium, it has a separate government in which both the communities will have equal representation. Okay. Next, apart from central and state government, there is a third kind of government which is known as community government. Okay, and it was elected by the people belonging to one language community, either Dutch, French or German speaking. And this government has the power regarding the language, education and cultural issues. Okay, so we'll say that here power was shared equally, okay, among the different ethnic groups. And so Belgian model was quite complicated, but it is very innovative, and that is why Brussels was chosen as the headquarter of European Union. Okay, because of the Belgian model of power sharing, which is very unique and innovative, it was chosen, Brussels was chosen as the headquarter of European Union. Okay, so this is clear to all of you children from the stories of Belgium and Sri Lanka. What we have learned, that power should be or must be shared equally, okay, among the different social and ethnic groups. And in democracy it is must, okay, power should not be, rest in one hand or in one organ of the government, rather it must be shared or distributed. Okay, so this is clear to all of you children. Now today our topic is why power sharing is desirable. Okay, that means why do we need to share power? Now here we'll see children that there are two great reasons, okay, in favor of power sharing. Now what is the first reason? That is your prudential reason as well as moral reason. Okay, there are two set of reasons. Now let's see what is prudential reason of power sharing. Okay, so here we'll see children that power sharing is good because it helps to reduce the possibility of conflict between the social groups. Okay, so we know that if power is shared equally, there will be no conflict and no war. But if power is not shared equally, then what will happen? It will lead to conflict and war. Okay, so we can say that if power is shared equally, then there will be no conflict and no war. Okay, no conflict will arise. So it reduces the possibility or chances of conflict between the social groups. Clear? Next point is that it is a good way to ensure the stability of political order. Okay, first of all, it helps to reduce the possibility of conflict. Okay, and next you will see here, it is a good way to ensure the stability of political order. Now what is the meaning of stability children? Stability means here stable government. Okay, stable government, that means democratic government will establish over here. And if political stability is there, then only economy will grow and the country will progress. Okay, so power sharing is a good way. If power is shared equally, then country will progress, economy will grow. Okay, a stable government will be there, that is democratic government, and so If political stability is there, then economy will grow and the country will progress. Okay, that is the reason why power sharing is required. Okay, next. Tyranny or majority. Okay, tyranny of the majority here is not only tyranny of the majority is not just oppressive for the minority, but it often brings ruin to the majority as well. Okay, what is the meaning of here? What is the meaning? Tyranny of majority. Tyranny means cruelty, okay, brutality of majority community means those who are more in number. Okay, as we have seen in case of Sri Lanka, right children, how majority community, that is the Sinhalas, they were showing their majoritarian rule and they are progressive. Okay, they were so oppressive, in nature, and they're ruling and they're showing their dominance over the entire nation, and they're not giving any importance to the minority community, that is the Tamils. But it is not, children, it is not oppressive to the minority only. Okay, it is not harmful to the minority community only, but it is also harmful to the majority communities. As in the case of civil war, we have seen that thousands of people, they lost their life and many of them were forced to leave the nation, right? So among them, not only the Tamils were there, okay, but also the Sinhalas, they also suffered in this civil war. So both the communities faced a huge loss over here. So we'll say that this tyranny or brutality or cruelty of majority community, this is not oppressive for minority, because it will bring ruin to majority community also. Okay, they will also face a huge loss. Okay, and it will bring ruin to the both communities, majority as well as minority. Okay, that is the reason why we need to share the power equally, okay, among the ethnic groups. Next reason is that it stressed that power sharing will bring out better outcomes. Okay, that means if we are sharing, power equally, then what will happen? We will get better outcomes, okay, better or positive results. Okay, so these were the prudential reason of power sharing. Now next, coming to moral reasons. Okay, what is meant by moral reason? Power sharing is the very spirit of democracy. Here you'll see power sharing is the very spirit of democracy. Okay, why we are saying this? Because that a democratic rule involves sharing of power with those affected by its exercise and who have to live with its effect. Okay, because here in democracy people have the rights, they have the liberty. Okay, and power sharing means if we are sharing the power, then we are involving the spirit of democracy. We are arousing, okay, that in democracy the people have the rights or the freedom, right? People have the right to be consulted. They can consult on how they are to be governed. Means as the people are choosing their own government, people have the freedom in democracy to choose their own representative or the government. So here we will say that power sharing is the very spirit or the true spirit of democracy. Okay, in democracy only power is being shared equally. Okay, so this is the first reason. Next you will see legitimate government. Okay, a legitimate government is the one where citizens through participation acquire a stake in this system. Okay, now what is meant by legitimate government? Legitimate means, children, legally chosen. Okay, it means legally chosen government. Okay, now who are going to choose the government legally? Obviously it's citizens. We are only choosing. In democracy people are choosing the government. Okay, that is a legally chosen government, and here the citizen, they are participating, right? They are using their own rights, okay, to choose the government. So people are also getting here the power, isn't it? So here we'll say that power sharing is done equally. People are getting the power to choose the government in democracy. So we'll say that a legally chosen government was there in a democracy. Okay, people have the power to choose the government. So citizens are here, they are also being shared the power equally. Okay, they are also following power sharing in this system. Okay, so this is clear, children. Okay, next one more. It also stressed that the very act of power sharing is valuable. Okay, power sharing, it emphasizes that it must be shared. Okay, as it is, we are sharing power, equally. So it is a valuable act which should be done by all in democracy. Okay, so it is the very act of power sharing as valuable. Okay, so this is the moral reason, and we have discussed the prudential reasons. So children, I hope this is clear to all of you. Why power sharing is desirable, or why do we need to share power in democracy? There are two sets of reason, prudential reason and moral reason, which we have already discussed. So if power is shared, then only it will bring us positive or good results. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you, children. Why power sharing is desirable? Okay, now next coming to another topic, that is the forms of power sharing. Okay, forms of power sharing. Now here, let's see. Okay, now first of all, earlier children, it was felt that if the power to decide is dispersed, then it not be possible to take quick decisions and to enforce them. Okay, earlier means it was for a very long time, we can say it was believed that all the power of a government must reside in one person or a group of person. Okay, power must be, it should be holded, or we can say it must rest with only one person. Okay, from very earlier time or a long time, we can say it was believed. But it was also felt that if the power, it will be divided or it will be dispersed, then what will happen? It is not possible to take quick decisions, okay, and to enforce them or implement them. But these notions or ideas have changed with the emergence of democracy. As democracy emerged, then what happened? These ideas or this type of notions that that power must be, resided within one person, it was totally changed. Okay, and one basic principle of democracy is that people are the source of all political power. Right? As we know here, the people are the source of all political power. People are the main or important, playing important role over here, right? We all have the rights or the liberty or the freedom here. So we can say that people are the source of all political power in democracy. And in a democracy, people rule themselves through an institution of self-government, right? And in a good democratic government, due respect is given to diverse groups and views that exist in a society. In democracy, as we know, that it is a diverse country. So what happened here? Respect is given to all the different ethnic groups, okay, who were residing over here. And everyone has a voice in the shaping of public policies. Okay, everybody has the freedom of speech and expression. Therefore, it follows that in a democracy, we call them political power should be distributed among as many citizens as possible. So in modern democracies, what happened? Power sharing arrangements can take many forms. Now, what are the different forms of power sharing? Let's discuss. Okay. Now, the first you will see here, children, power is shared among different organs of the government. Okay. This one is the first form of power sharing, that it is shared among different organs of the government, as we have already discussed, children, in our previous classes. Like there are three organs of the government, right? Legislature, executive and judiciary, right? So here it is called horizontal distribution of power. Okay, this is called horizontal distribution or division of power. Why? Why this power sharing? Means power sharing among different organs of the government is called horizontal distribution of power. Why? Because it allows different organs of the government which are placed at the same level to exercise different power. Okay, so here what happened? Each organ of the government, okay, they have their own role. Okay, powers are divided here equally among the organs of government. So each organ, checks each other. Okay, such a separation, it ensures that none of the organs can exercise unlimited power. So here you will see none of the organs of the government like legislature, executive and judiciary, they cannot exercise unlimited powers. Each organ checks the others. Okay, and what happens if each organ is checking each other? This result in a balance of power. There will be a balance of power among the various institutions, right? So what is happening here? Like example, children, ministers and government officials, they exercise power, but they are responsible to the parliament or state assemblies. Okay, they are responsible to the parliament or state assemblies, that is to the legislature, okay, lawmaking body. Similarly, although the judges, means the judiciary, they are appointed by the executive, but they can check the functioning of executive or law which was made by the legislature or lawmaking body. Okay, so that is the reason this arrangement or this form of power sharing is called system of checks and balances. This is very, very important, children. Okay, the question comes like this, that what is the system of checks and balances, or why power sharing among the different organs of government is known as system of checks and balances? Please explain. Okay, then you have to explain it. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you, children. Always remember that power sharing among the different organs of the government, that is between legislature, executive and judiciary. Okay, this form of power sharing is known as horizontal distribution or power. Okay, next. Coming to next form of power sharing, that is power sharing among government at different levels. Okay. Okay, so here you'll see that power is shared among the different levels of the government. Now, what are the different level of government, children? Central government or union government, right? Next is regional or state government, and the last one, that is the local government, right? So here we'll see that power is shared among the different levels of government, and a general government for the entire country and government at the provincial or regional level, that is the state level. Such a general government which is for the entire country, for the whole country, it is called federal government. Okay, it is usually called federal government. Okay, that is the government for the entire country, for the whole country, it is called federal government. And in India, what do we call it, children? We call it as the central or union government, right? And next, the government at the provincial or regional level are called by different names in different country. In India, we call it, yes, state government, right? In India, we call it state government. Now, this system is not followed in all countries. There are many countries, children, where there are no provincial or state government. But in those countries where there are different level of government, the constitution clearly lay down the powers of the different level of government. So in the constitution, we find the powers or the areas of jurisdiction of those level of government. Okay. Now this is what they did in Belgium. Okay. Whereas it was totally refused or denied in Sri Lanka. Right. Power was not shared equally in Sri Lanka. Whereas just the vice versa in Belgium. Now this is called federal division of power. Okay, this is called your federal division of power. Okay, municipality and the panchayat. Okay, that is the local government. Okay, and this level of government, or sorry, this level or this form of power sharing is known as vertical division of power. Okay, here. This level of power sharing is known as vertical division of power. Okay. Now, so children, you have understood here what is horizontal division of power and what is vertical division of power, that is vertical power sharing. That is power shared among different organs of the government is called horizontal division of power, whereas power sharing among different levels of the government is called vertical division of power. Okay. Power, power shared among the different levels, that is central government or union government, then state government or regional government, whereas the local government. Okay, this is called federal division of power and this is called vertical division of power, this form of power sharing. Clear? Now coming to next, number 3, power sharing among different social groups. Okay, now power is also shared, children, among the different social groups such as religious and linguistic groups. Okay, such as religious and linguistic groups. So here you'll see that, like for example, okay, a good example like community government in Belgium. Okay, it is a very good example of this kind of arrangement of power sharing. Okay, where powers are shared equally among the different social groups. And in some countries there are also constitutional and legal arrangements where socially and where you see socially and legal arrangements, constitutional and legal arrangements whereby socially weaker sections and women are represented in the legislature and administration. Okay, where the socially weaker sections and also the women, they were getting power equally. Okay, like for example, reserved constituencies are there in assemblies and also the parliament of our country. Okay, so this type of arrangement is given to give some space in the government and administration to the different diverse social groups, okay, who otherwise feel alienated from the government. Okay, so this method is used to give the minority community a fair share in the power. So if this type of reservation should be given to those minority communities, so they will also think that yes, we are getting some priority from the government, as they were quite lagging behind in the society. So those minority communities, they were getting here some space, or we can say they're getting some kind of participation, as they can participate in the governmental system and they were getting some powers from the government. Okay, like reservation system. Okay, so this one number 3, that is power sharing among the different social groups. Example is reserved constituencies, okay, in assemblies and parliament, whereas a reservation system, right, reservation system which was given to SC, ST and OBCs, okay, other backward caste and scheduled tribes and scheduled caste. Okay, so this is coming over here. Next, power sharing, number 4, power sharing arrangements can also be seen in the way political parties, pressure groups and movements. Okay, that is here power is divided among political parties, pressure groups and movement groups. Like in democracy, children, the citizens must have the freedom to choose various representatives for their power, and in democracies this take the form of competition, right? There is a competition among the different political parties, and such competition ensures that power does not remain in one hand. So in democracy, power is being shared equally among the different groups, right? It is not exercising, or it is not dominating in one hand. Okay, it does not remain in one hand. So in the long run, here we can say that power is shared among different political parties and that represent different ideologies and social groups. Okay, like different political parties, they have different ideologies and they have they are from different social groups, right? So if it is not confirm that only one party will remain over there, different political parties are coming, right? And it is also not confirmed that only one party will win the election. In the next election some other parties might win, Okay, so different ideologies we are getting here of those political parties, and sometimes this kind of power sharing can be direct when two or more parties form an alliance, right, to contest the election. So if their alliance is selected, they form a coalition government, right? Coalition government and thus share power. Coalition government, children, you know, when two or more political parties come together to win election, right? In a democracy, we find also the interest group, means pressure groups also we find, and also we find this movement group, right? Like NGOs are there, and they are actually creating, a pressure on the government to fulfill their demand. So they are also having a share in the governmental power. They are also participating in the system. Okay, so they are also sharing the power, either through participation in the governmental committees or bringing influence on the decision making process of the government. Okay, so this is all about the forms of power sharing. Okay, fourth one is the power sharing among the different political parties, okay, pressure groups and the movement groups. Okay, this is number 4. So here we have discussed about the different forms of power sharing. First one, among the different organs of the government. Second one is among the different social groups. Among the different levels of the government. Third one, among the different social groups. And the fourth one, among the different political parties, pressure groups and movement groups. So I hope, children, this is clear to all of you, today's topic. Okay, why power sharing is desirable we have discussed, and the forms of power sharing. I hope you have understood. But still, if you have any queries, you do ask. Okay, and this chapter is totally completed, children. In our next session, we'll discuss again this chapter, means we'll take a quick recap, okay, and few question answers from this chapter, okay, which are quite important. Okay, so we'll discuss in my next video, in my upcoming video. So you must go through it, children. Okay, so thank you for watching this. Thank you all, children.